Alabama and Auburn in a series that dates back to 1893.
Welcome to the Iron Bowl.
The throw to Upchurch, touchdown!
Auburn, Alabama.
When you play this game, there's nothing like it.
Touchdown, Derrick Henry!
He's in! Touchdown, Auburn! Van Tippen has won the ball game.
Chris Davis, an answered prayer.
Carry on. There's the jump pass. Gary Cole. More memories will be made here today.
This is the Iron Bowl. And this is Auburn versus Alabama.
That it is. The Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to Tuscaloosa, Bryant-Denny Stadium, the 83rd edition of the Iron Bowl. The Auburn Tigers against the #1 team in the country, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, with 102,000 of our closest friends and a matchup of old rivals. Beautiful day for football. We welcome you, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. It's been another dominating season for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. They come in with the top record in the land and the #1 ranking with the SEC championship next week against the Georgia Bulldogs. But it's not just this year. Over the past decade, let's talk about 11 years. 10 times in the last 11 years coming into this game, Alabama's been ranked either #1 or #2. But through those years, if there's always been a thorn in their side, it's been the Auburn Tigers for various reasons. It might be an iconic player, a once-in-a-lifetime guy on his way to a Heisman Trophy. It might be the most improbable of plays in the history of football, the kick six. Or it might just be one play that can kind of change the momentum of the game. A trick play that my partner Gary Danielson called before it even happened last year with Kerryon Johnson and that touchdown pass. And with that, I bring in the guy that called that play. And we think about that game a year ago when Auburn picked off Alabama, Gary. And two completely different teams, it seems like, this year, though.
It's unbelievable, Brad. I turn on the tape from last year's game, and I go, who are these guys? And it's really for different reasons. Auburn, you know, without Kerryon Johnson, all of the weight has fallen on Jarrett Stidham. Unfortunately for Jarrett and Auburn this game, it is going to be his football game. To loosen up this Alabama defense, he has to come through, and he has to have his best game like he did last year. The offense, if you don't have a passer against this Alabama defense, they'll just bottle you up like they did Mississippi State. And he's also going to have to bring his legs like he did a year ago. That's the only way this Auburn team can move the ball.
Well, a year ago in this matchup, Alabama was kind of struggling with their passing game with Jalen Hurts. So it's not Jalen Hurts' show anymore. We got a different look on Alabama.
Yeah, there's no calling plays in this game because they're completely different. Tua is so good, they took out Jalen Hurts. This team was struggling a year ago, but when Tua took over, they became a different team. Instead of being running back centric, they've now become quarterback and wide receivers, and he's got 4 great ones. Devontae Smith, a little bit injured, but he had the catch against Georgia. Henry Ruggs, he's the fastest, 8 touchdowns. Jalen Waddell, number 17, a true freshman, has come through. And then Jerry Jeudy, he's got over 1,000 yards as a receiver. Those 4 guys have changed this offense along with Tua.
Alabama has won 25 straight on this home field. That's a school record. But the last team to beat Alabama was Auburn last year at Jordan-Hare. Just about set to do battle in the Iron Bowl. Before we kick it off, we check in third member of our team, Jamie Erdahl. Jamie?
Brad, it is beautiful out here right now, but it has been a soggy 2 weeks here in Tuscaloosa. We saw when Alabama played the Citadel last week, the field got torn up due to wet conditions. Well, the rain continued into this week, and even last night, making Alabama do something they've never done before. Bring in 2 helicopters to hover over the field for 2 hours this morning. Well, the method seemed to have worked, because when I asked Nick Saban when he checked on the field at 12:30 how it looked, he said, pretty good to me, but who knows how it gets torn up as the game progresses. And you know, with these choppers, Brad, I have to say, in the infamous words of Robert Duvall, it smells like victory down here.
Gary, you were down on the field before the game.
I'll give you a slightly different. I asked the groundskeeper, how does it look? He said, after I talk to Nick, I'll tell you.
You got to go through Nick for everything.
Exactly.
It's beautiful out right now. The sun came out about an hour and a half ago. 61 degrees, perfect football weather. Alabama won the toss and deferred. There's the series record. Actually, Auburn leads in games in Tuscaloosa. This is the 20th year it's been away from Legion Field now and in a home-and-home setting. And what a setting it is. Joseph Bulovas will get us started. And Auburn will work from its 25-yard line. As we take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And it all starts with number 8. As Gary said, probably at his best game a year ago in this matchup. 21 out of 28 for 237 yards and also 51 on the ground. If he can repeat that today with this group around him, that would be a big step in the right direction. Seth Williams, who's from right here in Tuscaloosa, a freshman receiver, has become his big play threat. Chandler Cox in the backfield with Jatavius Whitlow, but it's Stidham on a slant and in and out of the hands of the guy I just mentioned. Williams dropped it. Defensively for Alabama, we talked about some of their seniors, including Bugs. Anthony Jennings coming off probably his best game. 11 tackles and a fumble recovery for a touchdown in the win over the Citadel last week. Shivers into the clear. He's got unbelievable speed. I don't know if they're going to get him. Sean Shivers, touchdown. There is a flag down at the 25. If it's not against Auburn, it's a 75-yard touchdown, but it might be coming back.
I think that's Isaiah Bugs down too on the play.
Here's a call. It is holding. Auburn negates a 75-yard touchdown. Sal Cannella, a wide receiver out on the edge, trying to give his man an opportunity for a big play. Did, but was caught holding.
Cannella right there holding on Moses.
He's got jersey. It's not a lot.
Yeah, but he didn't pull it. Unless there's something on the other side of that jersey. I did not see a tug. I saw his hand on there, but I did not see a pull.
After the play was over, a sportsmanlike conduct foul on the Auburn head coach for arguing the call on the field. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Well, it goes from a 75-yard touchdown to a 30 yards worth of penalties. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Gus Malzahn. We saw that earlier today on Urban Meyer in the Ohio State-Michigan game. And he's still hot. Here's another look at Isaiah Bugs.
Also on the backside right there. Let's see. It's a cut block away. Oh, you can see the knee go back. His heel was in the ground and his left knee buckled backwards.
Empty backfield for Stidham from the 8-yard line. He'll try it again. There's one that's caught, but it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, caught, almost conceded that time by the Alabama defense.
Ryan Davis made the catch. Pickup of maybe a half yard. This was Gus when the penalty was called. He was out on the field.
Yes, and that rule was instituted a year ago. That the coaches cannot come on the field and argue. You can call your team and ask questions, but you cannot argue.
3rd and 26. There aren't a lot of plays in the book for this particular situation.
The goal is no turnover here.
And with that, they keep it on the ground, and they'll be punting from right where Christian Miller made that tackle.
So the lack of discipline from the Auburn wide receivers. They've dropped 3 balls, and they've had a key holding penalty. 4 mental mistakes why the wideouts have cost this Auburn team. It cost them potentially a touchdown.
Right.
Now you could argue Moses might make that tackle, but there you are. Block them. Don't hold them. And now field position could cost them even more.
Because Waddell is right around the 50-yard line. Sippis to punt. He's going straight up with it here. Waddle has to, got fair catching a run over. And there's flags all over, and I hope he's not hurt because he was not looking. He was only looking at the ball. And Javaris Davis just leveled him. And that brings out the Boo Birds here at Bryant-Denny.
The respect for Waddle had the end-over-end kick.
You talk about not seeing one coming.
Well, I'll tell you, it's shocking right now, the lack of discipline that this Auburn football team is playing with early in this football game. Emotionally, I don't know if they're too up for this game or what, but they're not ready to play.
You take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineup for Alabama. You already saw the leader, number 13. And here's the group around Tua. Henry Ruggs coming off career high 6 catches a week ago. And that's just one of those 3 guys that Gary talked about in the open. Unbelievable group of wide receivers. That's Ruggs in motion. Play action here might be the play that Gary said. Incomplete. Judy, the intended receiver. Jamel Dean was covering.
I think it's going to be Josh Jacobs' time now, don't you think?
He's in there. Second down at 10. And Tua's going to come the other way out in the flat. Ruggs, and he broke a tackle. First down inside the 15.
Told you I couldn't call plays anymore against these guys. Used to be really easy. I do this thing for 12 years. You get a feel for their offense, and now forget it.
Different offense.
Different offense.
Ruggs picks up 20, so completions of 11, 13, and 20 for Tua Taigavaloa, and they're in the red zone, where they've scored 42 touchdowns on 60 trips this year. From just inside the 14. Here's a little jet sweep to Henry Ruggs. And Ruggs got more out of that than I thought he would against an Auburn defense that comes in 10th in the country in scoring defense, led by 3-year starter, middle linebacker, and leading tackler Deshaun Davis.
And this is the team that has to help out their offense. They have 7 returning defensive starters from this game a year ago. We've been talking all year about the defensive line. Let's see what they do.
Second down at 6. Red zone touchdown defense. 29% is good. And Jacobs finally gets a call. He got about 3.
I think Georgia had about 9 plays inside the 10-yard line against this Auburn defense, and the Auburn defense stood them up. There was even a targeting penalty in the middle of it that kept it going. So these guys bow their necks down here, but it'll be a big challenge here. This Alabama offense much better inside the red zone. That Georgia's been struggling in goal-to-goal situations.
Georgia didn't struggle today against Georgia Tech. That sets up our matchup next week in Atlanta. 3rd and 3 to run all the way for Tua Taigavaloa. First down and touchdown.
If you could feel everybody in the stadium holding their breath as Tua ran to the outside, but when you're running behind number 8 and big number 73, Jonah Williams, you feel pretty good about yourself, I'll tell you. You follow 73 and 8, you feel safe.
Tua's going to come right into the pylon cam for the touchdown, his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. Well, they didn't have to go far because of the penalty on the punt return. But they're on the board first. Bulovas' extra point is good. 6:38 remaining, first quarter. 34-yard drive in 5 plays. That was play number 5, and touchdown on the ground number 5 for Tua Taigavaloa. 7-0 tied. 36th touchdown responsible for in a single season for Tua. 31 through the air, the 5th on the ground a couple of moments ago, and a 7-0 lead.
Well, Blake Sims and Jalen Hurts and Tua all have to thank RPO that Auburn used in 2013 for this new style of offense that Alabama runs.
Igbenogany from the goal line. He found a little crease up the middle. More on Tua. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, he continues to impress in every facet of his game, Brad, especially on this touchdown run. He looks a little different to you today because he's not wearing that big knee brace that has labored him the last few weeks. Mike Loxley told us that he's as fresh as he's been. He really felt like that knee brace restricted him, and they can really get back to some of those power runs they were able to the first half of the season.
Yeah, when we saw him a couple of weeks ago in a touchdown celebration, he did a chest bump with one of his teammates and then came down and grabbed the knee brace as if to say the brace was hurting him more than the knee was. So it's a good time to have him completely healthy. And not a lot of people are healthy at this time of the season. Nice run by Jatavius Whitlow.
Yeah, Isaiah Buggs is back in the football game, number 49, at his normal spot, right defensive end.
And that's going to be a first down. So they're getting a little bit on the ground right now, and they need that.
Yeah, he's not doing well, though, and he's coming back out. He's giving it a try, but I don't think Buggs is going to be able to finish this thing out today. You know, ironically, the week before against Citadel, they were worried about the cut blocks on their defensive linemen, and that's what got him in this game, a cut block on the backside.
Look at this
Tackle
formation.
way out here.
We got 2 tackles out.
Yep.
And the throw is out to Davis, and he's got a tackle in front of him to lead the way. Different looking formation. It works.
Yeah, interesting talking to Nick. He said Gus Malzahn gives us so much, we cannot practice it all week.
From the 37, Stidham dropped by Raekwon Davis.
Was Jennings offside on the play? I thought Jennings, number 33, got a little bit of a head start on that one, but it was not called. He must have timed it out perfectly.
I think Jarrett thought he was offside too.
Yes, he looked at the referee like, what's that? Trying to go fast works sometimes, but when everybody's not on the same page, it produces negative plays, and that time it did.
It was actually Brian Ray that made that play, not Raekwon Davis. They were all in the vicinity. Quinton Williams as well. Second down at 13. Stidham had it squatted down at the line of scrimmage, and that was Jennings.
Well, like you say, we've been talking about this since the halfway point in the season. Tua got all the press early, and deservedly so. But kind of like quietly, the Alabama defense reloaded.
Exactly.
They had to replace a lot of NFL talent, and, you know, not very surprisingly, they have.
Third down and long.
You have to go at the corners. Alabama plays man-to-man on the outside, and you must challenge the outside of this defense.
And that would be Savion Smith and Patrick Surtain. Third and long for Stidham. Stands in, goes over the middle to his short man. It's Whitlow in the open field. And Whitlow has got it down to the 14-yard line.
Well, the veteran play this time for Jarrett Stidham. He got decent pass blocking. He saw the late rush and dropped it off. That really says a lot for your quarterback in this football game. He's got all those drops, keeps his wits about him.
That's Schwartz in motion. He's going to get the carry. Blocker in front is Cox, and Schwartz is in for the touchdown.
It was the running game, and then it was Gus being Gus. Gus ball is what you've seen right here. Give them different formations, run the ball just enough, and then the true freshman, the fastest guy in college football, Anthony Schwartz, gets the corner, and a beautiful block by Chandler Cox, the senior.
Anders Carlson in for the point after. And it's up and good. So that quieted the crowd at Bryant Denny. It fired up the Auburn coach. 73-yard drive in 10 plays. We're even at 7. Key play on that drive on a 3rd and 13. That 25-yard pass to Whitlow from Stidham. That kept the drive going. And then, as Gary said, Gus being Gus, a little trick play on the end around to Schwartz. And that's Schwartz's 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah, and remember they had the 2 tackles out there, too,
That's
for the
right.
one play.
Yeah. Carlson's kick goes out of bounds. That's not good. Nope.
Three-man rush. Taigavaloa in trouble, though, does his spin move, and now runs back up the middle, trying to get to the first down. Got it, and then some. All the way to the 39-yard line. That knee looks pretty good.
Yep. And those fakes look pretty good, too. Marlon Davidson put pressure on him, but he evaded. And the scouting report on Tua is when he scrambles right up, straight. And it's exactly what he did there. If you're rushing Alabama, you have to do what they kind of call crush the can. You can't come around the edge. You got to crush that can and put pressure on them up the middle. And it's easy to say because I got to say, that works against every quarterback.
21-yard run to the 39. Jacobs in motion again. He looked that way and comes back to Najee Harris, who puts the brakes on and then got tripped up. That could have been a big play, but a nice job. Derek Brown stayed there along with Seth Williams and tripped him up.
Yeah, one of those veteran linebackers. 7 of these defenders started in this game a year ago. Number 49, Seth Williams, smart player, comes back, just trips him up with one of those shoe dust tackles. Beautiful play by Williams.
2nd down and 8. Might be the final play of the quarter. Taigavaloa, RPO, goes out to Jacobs. Jacobs driving. Wow, trying to work to that first down marker, and he's really close. Thomas and Atkinson trying to keep him from moving the chains, and we got a flag down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
There's another mistake by Auburn.
Wait a second, they were on the 30-yard line. So half the distance. Either way, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Exactly. There it is.
See, I thought the penalty happened on the 31-yard line. I thought that should have gone to the 16-yard line.
Picky.
Yes, yes, yeah. All right, that's fair. I did one to you.
That's a fair first quarter, too. Even first quarter. A lot of Auburn mistakes, but it didn't matter. They tied it up. End of 1, 7-7. We'll return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local station. Just about set to start the second quarter here in Tuscaloosa. And we welcome you back, Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson. Good first quarter, partner. I think take away Auburn's mistakes, they could be in front right now.
It was the emotions, I think. And to survive that and also be able to run the ball just a little bit. But remember, you got to score. You cannot let up. I mean, they got a good defense, but I think you're looking at least getting into the 30s to beat Alabama.
Alabama beats everybody by an average of 36, so you got to put points up. It's sort of like playing the New Orleans Saints or the LA Rams. If you don't score points, you got no shot. But they do have 7 on a nice drive the last time they had it. And now Alabama, first time not leading at the end of the first quarter. This is a rarefied air for the Tide right now. But they have it at the 14-yard line. Najee Harris in there with Taigavaloa. Tua's going to throw it out to Judy. And it's 1st and goal just inside the 5.
Here's what you have to live with if you're going to blitz coming around the corner. If you don't get them, you got man-to-man, and you're allowed to do those little screens and rubs. Tough to cover man-to-man.
1st and goal, quick throw out to Ruggs. And he got there. Touchdown. Touchdown pass number 32 for Tua Taigavaloa.
Yeah, Smoke Monday got there, but just a half step late. Let's see if the knees were down before he crossed. Monday gets there. No, I don't think so. I think that's a touchdown. He laid out.
Pilano gave us a great look. He kept his balance just enough to do that.
He actually used Monday's body to stay above the grass. Ball just has to break the front part of the line. It doesn't have to cross. This isn't hockey. You don't have to go past the line. Just the front edge.
Mac Jones to hold. Bullivus extra points is up and just inside the right upright. So after a nice drive by Auburn, Alabama answers. 65-yard drive in 8 plays. And Ruggs stretching it out to make it 14-7 Alabama. So Ruggs gets his 9th receiving touchdown of the year. Most first half touchdown passes single season since '96. Tua's in the top group now. Here's a short kick, and I think he called a fair catch. He did. Shivers So they'll bring it out to the 25. Total yardage 121 for Alabama. And Auburn works from the 25-yard line. Chandler Cox in there. He's the motion man out of the backfield. They throw it out to Davis with Chandler Cox in front of him, but nobody got a block. And it's a loss. Xavier McKinney made the play.
Well, Ryan Davis had a football game against these guys last year. 11 receptions against them. And he is basically a running back on the outside of the formation. They get the ball to him as many times as they can out there in space.
And he caught 11 balls a year ago for 139 yards in this matchup at Jordan-Hare. 2nd and 12. Stidham has time and now running out of it, and he's going to get rid of this one. Got some late pressure from Brian Ray. Most receptions by quarterback wide receiver duo. Stidham to Davis. Boy, remember the days Pat Sullivan on his way to a Heisman Trophy to Terry Beasley. Talk about passing some big time names in Auburn history.
Historic names.
Yeah.
Terry Beasley was the Wes Welker of his day, right?
Exactly.
He could play in any era of professional football.
Christian Miller in the middle there for Alabama is going to back out of there. It's just a 3-man rush from 3rd and 17. Stidham flushed out of the pocket again. Raekwon Davis giving chase, and he's got to throw it to the Auburn sideline again. There was a guy there, and Seth Williams, but it's incomplete.
Well, you're dropping 8, and you're nervous when you're in that pocket, making a mistake at your own end of the field. Put 5, 6 near the line of scrimmage and then bail out, and you got to throw it in between these linebackers. They might have had to throw, but he also was being flushed at the same time.
Yeah, Davis, a big fella with a push there as he got rid of it, and now it's Aaron Sippis into punt again inside his own 5. Jalen Waddell is back in there. And the rugby style kick, and Waddell will have a crack at this one from the 31. And goes down to the 31. Nice job by Jamal Dean.
Yeah, what a play. Jamal Dean, the transfer from Ohio State, been playing her a couple years and really coming on.
Alabama gets the stop they were looking for. Their offense will have it when we return.
And I think Georgia's playing their best football of the year right now.
Boy, Jake Fromm had a big game. Had 4 touchdown passes, I think, today. Here's a guy that can sling it. Tua Taigavaloa, crossing route, got it to Damian Harris, put a move on and got a first down before he's tripped up by KJ Britt.
And you know what's encouraging if you're an Alabama fan, and he's not always just slinging it now. He's willing to take the easy throw and move the chains. I thought at the beginning of the year he was just going for the big play.
Yep.
I think now he's much more disciplined, taking advantage of his offensive line and running backs in the passing game.
First down from the 43. Damian Harris on the handle. Follows his blockers, gets out around the 48 before he's mugged. A whole bunch of Tigers there and a whole bunch of Tide players trying to push him in the right direction. Williams and Igbenogany finally slowing down anyway.
I know the rest of the league will probably be happy to see Damian Harris finally leave. I won't. He's about as fun a guy to talk to as we've had in this league in a long time.
He is a classy young man. Here's a pump fake and the throw, and it's over Irv Smith's hand, incomplete.
Igbenogany again did a really good job of taking his man. When you're playing man-to-man, nothing trumps your guy.
Greg McElroy next on the hit list for Tua. Another 35-yard pass, and he's going to be in there. He might make it all the way to number 2 spot before the day's over. We'll just have to wait and see.
Just incredible to think back. Just a year ago at this time, he didn't even play him.
Nope.
Okay, and how different he is, and how different Alabama is because of that. Jalen Hurts, great career here. And of course, all those transfer things will start being talked about Jalen soon.
Josh Jacobs, little delayed trap, and Jacobs first down. Whoa.
There he is.
A big hit to Igbenogany. Hello.
He's very difficult not to give the ball early in the football game because he sets the tone. Now, personally, I think this is something college football has to look at. when the offensive player uses his head as a weapon, I don't know what the defender's supposed to do. It happened on Tua on the run, touchdown run. I really think the rules and the officials need to look at that for a safety reason.
7th Auburn penalty so far. Damian Harris bangs it down inside the 22.
It's a big stop for this Auburn defense. Can they just hold Alabama to a field goal here? You got to stay in touch. You got to stay and keep hope in the football game if you're the Auburn side of the field. Alabama knows. We put another one here, and you're going to start pointing fingers on the other side of the field.
Good point. Taigavaloa looks left, back to the right, and throws it in the dirt. Herb Smith was the closest guy.
Yeah, and Pierce Baker and Leatherwood that time were 10 yards downfield. They had screens going both directions that time. And of course, if the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, it's not called. But they had double screen, and Pierce Baker goes, I was wide open on that one. Just to let you know, if they ever change any more rules, I was wide open.
Ross, the captain of the offense, gets back over the ball at the 22. 3rd and 6. Blitz coming. Taigavaloa down the middle. First down to Ruggs at the 11. Well, they brought the heat that time.
Yeah, and Ross Piercebaker, who said he was open last play, is actually the guy that handles the safety blitz. Watch him. He's looking, faking, and picking up the blitz.
And now Tua throws out complete to Judy. And Judy's going to be roughed down by Jamie and Sherwood. Nice job to stay with number 4.
One more shot of Ross doing a great job on this play. Safety blitz. Saves the quarterback and allows the first down throw.
Just another in the long line of really good centers that have played here at Alabama.
Yeah, I haven't even gotten to the offensive line yet.
Made his way down from Cedar Falls, Iowa to play for the Tide in his final game at Bryant-Denny today. 2nd down and 10 at the 11. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line. Here comes the heat up the middle again. Taigavaloa lofts it to nobody, incomplete. But he did get rid of it.
A lot of times near the goal line, you have the tight end and the quarterback on a read route. He's called a cop, corner or post. And this time, Irv went to the post.
Offense number 13. Loss of down at the spot of the foul.
They're going to call grounding.
Second down.
Grounding on the throw.
So when you've got a read route and you're letting it go and your tight end goes to the post and you think it's an either or, he throws it to the corner and it's intentional grounding. That's a good call. If you're going to read those read routes like that, you better get it right or you're susceptible to have an intentional grounding call, especially when there's pressure on you.
Well, that backs the line of scrimmage to the 21. This is where Tua would say it's okay. We just have more room to throw.
Yeah, well, this is a must stop for this Auburn defense right here, especially with the kicking problems for Alabama.
They only bring 3. Taigavaloa, but still that 3's going to get there. He gets away, throws late, and it's incomplete, isn't it? Or did he catch it?
He called it a catch, but it's going to be close.
Well, it's still going to be 4th down anyway.
Yeah, but a lot closer. The getaway, as you thought it was a sack, we thought maybe it was a sack too because of the outside, but this makes it a much easier field goal.
Let's take a look one more time.
Yeah, I thought Derek Brown had him back there.
I don't know if that's a catch or not. But.
Well, I can't get any closer look, but they should look at it because it's a big difference in the field goal.
Bullivus from 30. Right down the middle. 3 more for the Tide. Alabama gets a stop, but they're still down 10. It would be huge if they could answer that field goal with some points of their own right here. Trailing by 10. Bullivus, who just hit the field goal, set to kick away. Igbenogany and Shivers await back at the 5-yard line for the Tigers. And they'll get a shot at it if they want one. Fair catch was called for. So now they've got it ready for play at the 43. It's Schwartz on the end around. This time, Savion Smith runs him out of bounds after a short gain.
Well, Anthony Schwartz, the true freshman sprinter, has been getting involved. Brad told you about his carries. He came into this game with 20 rush attempts, along of 23. He's gotten already, what, 3 times in this game?
Yeah.
And running the ball. He's always a threat with that jet sweep.
Quinnen Williams coming out again. Cam Martin in the backfield with Stidham on 2nd down and 7. He looks over, you see those cards, the plays changed. Better hurry. Just got it off, and the ball, he lost the ball. I think he wanted to throw a screen out in the flat, and I don't know if it just took off from him or stuck to his hand or what.
I think it was McKinney again, coming from the outside the slot, number 15. Yes, when he tried to throw the ball, McKinney was in the way, and he had to try to eat it. It was the old tuck rule.
So 3rd down and 7. Ryan Davis in motion again. Stidham with Mack Wilson coming at him. Throws too wide, intended for Slayton, incomplete.
You could feel the pressure if you're the quarterback right up the middle. Q Williams puts Caleb Kim right on his back. You could feel him climbing your legs. He does not quite step into throw, and it sails on him. You see Q Williams right there. We didn't mention his name until this series, and all of a sudden he's a part of everything in this series.
3 straight plays. Shippus, low snap, punt, high end over end kick. And they just let it go. It's going to be around the 15 or 16 yard line. So Alabama has got it back. Mack Wilson and the defense for the Tide does its job again. There's mom and dad looking on from the stands. You wonder what his numbers would be like if he played in 4th quarters this year. Josh Jacobs going to be dropped for a loss. And Deshaun Davis on another tackle, over 250 career tackles for him.
I don't think Kevin Steele and Auburn can be upset with their defense. They're keeping the throws in front of him. You know, Tua's what he's got, just over 100 yards throwing the ball. He's 13 for 18 for 108. You know, nothing big has happened.
Got that one out to Judy short of the 1st down.
Not a lot of missed tackles. I mean, you know, you can't do much better with an offense than this.
You just got to hope that your offense helps you out a little bit. As we approach the 6-minute mark, 3rd down coming up for Alabama again, 3rd and 3. Can they get one more stop and give it back to that offense of the Tigers before halftime?
Front 4 has to dominate here in these situations.
Almost looked like they were offsides again.
They did.
Jacobs, and they got to stop. He's a yard shy.
Miller, number 8, one of the rotated players in there, comes off the block and makes the tackle. Takes on Deontay Brown, stays alive, and makes the play.
They did their job again.
Yeah. Deontay Brown has been knocking people into the secondary, but that time Miller does a nice job.
Bernier to punt. Ryan Davis back for Auburn around the 35 on the other end. And Auburn will have 5 minutes to play with here. They block the kick. Auburn's got it on a block punt. Think it was Smoke Monday, maybe. At any rate, there's the big play they needed.
Yeah, if you're going to beat Alabama, you've got to beat them a little bit in every area. You just can't beat them on defense or offense. You got to win special teams. And this time, wide open, just turned over Smoke Monday. Going against that 3-man protector, they opened up a hole for him to run right in there.
He smoked him.
He did.
Now can Auburn take advantage at the 23?
Sugar huddle. They'll break fast and snap it fast.
Empty backfield. And again, Stidham wanted to go out in the flat. We lobs it out there to Schwartz, who got leveled. Offensive lineman Wanogo got out there and caught it. But again, the play was blown up. They thought they had something working on the outside.
Oh, what a tackle that time by Smith. And Wanogo was standing out there because he's not eligible. He couldn't do anything.
He was just supposed to be a blocker.
Exactly.
Nice catch, though.
It was. Taigavaloa says, I'm out here and I'm open, but I'm not eligible. So throw it to somebody else.
Second down and 10. Chandler Clark.
Double pass.
Ryan Davis loads, fires, man's there, got him. Auburn touchdown, Malik Miller. Second time a trick play is paid off for the Tigers for a touchdown.
Ryan Davis had a touchdown pass against Texas A&M. He was a high school quarterback. They lined him up real deep, quick snapped it to him. You could see it in the pre-snap that he was very deep to ensure the lateral right here. Gets it and throw the whole playbook at Alabama. Use every guy you got, every skill he's got.
Extra point is good. Good game through 2 quarters at Bryant-Denny. Alabama with the lead, 17-14, trying to win their 26th straight game on this home field. And Coach Saban is with Jamie.
Coach, how was the way Auburn ran their offense towards the end of the half disoriented your defense's read of things?
Well, it was a double pass, and, you know, we didn't cover the guy that ran a double pass. So I kind of knew it was coming because the guy lined up deep in the backfield. But get a punt block, give him good field position. You know, that's kind of plays in games like this that make a huge difference. Anything in particular offensively that you could really connect on more in the second half? Well, we're not making explosive plays. They're doing a good job of taking those away. We got to be patient. We got to be able to create some balance, but we're going to have to throw the ball better than we did in the first half. Thanks, Coach. All right, thank you.
That's the end of the first half as the Tide heads into their locker room. They've got the lead, but it's a very slim one, 17-14. Top-ranked Alabama leading Auburn as we head to Adam Zucker and the guys in our New York studio. Zucker, and you look in on Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa to start the third quarter. 17-14. Hometown Tide in front, but by only a field goal. They'll get the football first to start the third quarter. Both teams in the final 50 seconds or so of that second quarter kind of looked at their respective coaches and thought, we're going to call timeout. Nope, let's just go to the locker room. So they have time to regroup or prepare for the second half. And it is underway. And their catch taken 4. Bring it out to the 25-yard line. Welcome back, Brad and Gary. You know, I think back to what Jeremy Pruitt told us last week, former defensive coordinator here, now the head coach at Tennessee. He said, I don't care how much Alabama's favored by, this is going to be a heck of a game. Auburn will give them everything they want, and they have.
They have, and the key part was just before the block punt. There was 6 minutes. Alabama gets the ball. They stop them on third down. You could almost see it. 17-7. Alabama's going to drain the half, get the ball back, and kind of run away. And Auburn stops them, blocks a punt, football game. That was the key part of the first half.
So here's the Alabama offense that averages 49 points a game, going to work for the first time, and maybe a 1-yard gain on the first snap as we check in with Jamie.
Brad, I tell you, Gus Malzahn's still heated about that holding call that brought the touchdown back in the first quarter. He said, you just don't call that in the Iron Bowl. After those speed bumps early, he said he feels like they settled it and played the right way. I asked him, how many trick plays are we expect to see, Coach? He said, well, about 3 or 4, so start your tally now.
Well, the ones they tried in the first half worked to perfection. Second down and 9, play action. Taigavaloa throws complete. Irv Smith short of the first down by a yard or 2. Darrell Williams made the tackle. First half trends, 5th time this season Tua has had a rushing and passing touchdown. This is kind of strange. Wide receivers have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown, but no touchdown catches for the Tigers. And those are season lows in the first half for Alabama.
Every part of this offense, I mean, this defense for Auburn is doing their job right now. Stopping the run, the linebackers are cleaning it up, and the man coverage solid.
Josh Jacobs, little delay, follows his blockers, cuts it out for a big gain across the 45.
Auburn is making Alabama earn every yard. They're going to run it. They're going to make first downs. Run right at Jonah Williams. Good block on the edge, but not the huge play. Line up. They're good too. They made a good play. Auburn, just keep your wits about you. Try to find a negative play.
That's what Nick said to Jamie going in the locker room. We're not getting explosive plays. They're looking for one here. They got the pass to Irv Smith, and he'll be brought down after a pickup of about 8. Javaris Davis held his ground out there to make the tackle.
So if you're Alabama, you got to look at it the other side of the coin. This is a solid defense. 5 or 6 NFL players there. They're tackling in space very well. How patient can we be? Let's make first downs and take what they give us.
Already in Tiger territory. Here comes a blitz. Taigavaloa going long. Judy's got it. Touchdown. There's the explosive play.
You never know. Anywhere on the field, nothing is safe. Bottom of the screen right here. There's the matchup. That's been the matchup all day. Auburn's been willing to play man coverage, and Judy, with a perfect throw, puts it into the end zone. Can't throw it any better than that. Guy's open by a yard, and he put it right in stride.
Extra point is good.
That's what you get thinking about, how explosive Alabama is, and you say that is there anytime, and that's the worry. We can play man coverage, but if they throw it perfect, that can happen.
That was perfect. Second touchdown toss of the day for Taigavaloa. 24-14 tie.
And that's the challenge for Auburn's defense. You know, you fight your butt off, and then they just go over the top of you.
Yep. Play action. Stidham throws on the run across the middle high, but could have been caught, I think, by Darius Slayton. Incomplete.
Yeah, Slayton is one of those guys this year that has never really gotten off to get the type of deep threat he was a year ago. Last year he averaged 22 yards of reception. This year he's down to about 15, and it seems to be that's been the story all year. Inches away and a few drop balls when they're there.
Jarrett Stidham having a tough day. Remember, he had a lot of drop passes early in the first quarter. Whitlow maybe got 2. Dylan Moses in on the tackle. Dylan made the finalist list for the Butkus Award. Should be handed out in a week and a half or so.
I think Nick went in at halftime and said, we're okay. Citadel had us 10-10.
Yeah.
17-14 feels good for us.
And there's Jarrett Stidham, only 5 of 16. And Tua Taigavaloa being Tua Taigavaloa.
Yes, he is.
3rd down and 8. Some shifting on that defensive front for Alabama. Now they settle in. And here they come, including Mack Wilson. Stidham crossing route to Schwartz, but it's short of the first down.
And Alabama brought 6 rushers that time. Picked up beautifully, but you complete the ball short of the first down. If you're going to throw the ball and pick it up and keep it clean like that, you would love your receiver to just take it down there another yard for a first down. Now, you know, that's what you have. You run those true freshman players, they make little mistakes that end up costing you.
Another freshman awaiting this punt, Jalen Waddell. Fair catch, and gets this one cleanly without getting hit at the 31-yard line. 11:23 to go, 3rd quarter. Alabama with the ball and a 10-point lead when we come back. We're usually complaining that it's too hot or too cold in the booth. I'm just about right today. And Tua Taigavaloa, look at the group that he continues to move up on. Impressive numbers for a guy that didn't start last year and came in the second half of the national championship game against Georgia and has flourished ever since that touchdown pass in overtime. On the RPO, the quick throw out complete. Let's check in with Jamie.
He's got impressive numbers tonight, and he's an impressive athlete. Tua told us that he's completely right-hand dominant. He writes with his right hand, kicks a soccer ball right-handed. He bat right-handed when he played baseball, but he said the sport was too boring for him. Even until the age of 4, he threw this football with his right hand until his dad said, no, son, you're going to throw left-handed. And thus, Tua Taigavaloa, the left-handed Heisman candidate, was born as a quarterback.
I'm really glad you caught that.
Me too.
That was impressive.
It was. Jacobs middle screen out to the 50.
Since Auburn dropped the first 4 passes, Jamie's doing pretty well.
She could have been their leading receiver in the first quarter.
Again, if you don't put pressure on Tua, he's going to just pick you apart. Throwing to the running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. He's proved he's patient, proved he can throw deep. You got to be able to put some pressure on him and up the middle.
Remember, he's thrown 1 pass in the 4th quarter this year, and it was a completion. And as I mentioned earlier, what would his numbers be if he had to play entire games? That's got to be a face mask somewhere in there. Najee Harris head turned completely around, or his helmet did. And he's straightening out the headgear. Dontavius Russell. That moves it down to the 33-yard line.
So this Auburn defense or football team gets into that danger zone again. It was right there at the end of the half. It was 17-7. They made the plays to get it and keep it alive. Now they're going to have to make another play here, or they're going to lose hope.
5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. First down at the 33 for Alabama. Low snap. Taigavaloa play action. Deep down the middle. Got it. Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. Gone. Touchdown, Alabama.
And he handled the low snap. He had to take his eyes off the defense to pick the ball up. And yes, that's what it's like when you got a quarterback like this. Jacobs right there in the backfield, comes out, doesn't run an option route. He just goes straight down the field. The 2 defenders are standing there waiting him to go right or left. He goes long.
How about how he located that? Had his head one way, turned it all the way around.
I'm telling you, he's a great football player. Lightly recruited out of Oklahoma. They found him late, and they found a gem.
Did they ever? 9:49 remaining, 3rd quarter, and all of a sudden, top-ranked Alabama starting to look like top-ranked Alabama. 3rd scoring toss of the day for number 13. 2nd scoring reception on the other end for number 8. 31-14 tied. Alabama has had 9 plays in this early part of the 3rd quarter that have totaled 144 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and at halftime, Auburn goes in there and says, okay, we're doing exactly the plan. Just keep the guy in front of you, make the tackle, make him go the long way, and all of a sudden, the excellence at quarterback puts 2 passes right in stride to break the defense.
This kick will be returned from the 1. Igbenogany stumbled a little bit. Ooh, really got stood up at the 21-yard line by Xavier McKinney. Stidham and company from the 40.
What do they got? I don't know if they have anything, but continue to try to throw it to the receivers that have been dropping them.
I don't know what they haven't used so far.
Exactly.
This has worked okay. Whitlow for 3. And Keaton Anderson in on the tackle.
Jarrett Stidham, who was 21 for 28 in this game, 10 for 24, but he's got at least 5 drops, right?
Yeah. There you see number of plays and all of that relatively close time of possession, but the scoreboard is Alabama by 17. And again, a little sugar huddle. Everybody gets out quickly. Canella in the slot. Schwartz on the move. They fake it to him, and then they're going to throw it to him. Let's see what he can do in the open field. Just that much. Savion Smith with the tackle.
If you actually look at Patrick Surtain and Savion Smith at practice, the two corners for Alabama are big men. They're not little skinny little cover guys. They both go over 200 pounds, can handle you in that bump and run coverage, and both very sound tacklers. Do you call this with the idea you got 4 downs to make it?
Oh, little confusion there on the snap. Stidham's just going to let it fly. Center field, caught. This one, Slayton, touchdown. He didn't drop that one.
Mack Wilson was saying he pushed off, but it was such of an underthrow that Slayton saw it, and the defender did not. Savion Smith had no idea where the ball was. Right side watches. Oh, yeah, right at the end. His right hand got the little push.
Greatest underthrow of Jarrett Stidham's life.
Exactly. Mack Wilson saw it cleanly. Push off at the end of the play on a bad underthrow touchdown.
Extra point is up and good.
And I think that's what Gus was thinking about the field goal. We just got to keep trying to score touchdowns. That's our only chance.
They got one when they really needed it in 3 plays in just 1 minute and 25 seconds. Big score for Auburn.
Yeah, and all the crowd here, and Mack Wilson wanted to call pass interference on that. I want to show you one more look at that.
Carlson's kick brings it out to the 25 for Alabama. Now it's back in number 13's hands at the 3.5-minute mark, third quarter. Tua Taigavaloa down the middle on stride to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, he might have missed the last one, but don't count on him missing 2 of them. Wide open. This little motion package has been freeing these crossing routes right behind the linebackers. He missed one on 3rd down, but he didn't miss that one.
Pick up a 20 to the 45. Snap a little bit low again. The handoff, Najee Harris. Najee follows his blockers. He's got a first down and 2 stiff arms to the face of Igbenogany.
What happens when you have the 2 running backs in? Josh Jacobs becomes an extra blocker right in front. Watch number 8. That's the guy that cleans it up for you. If you put on the tape and watch him, your quarterback run behind him, running back run behind him, reverse run behind him, he is just a leveler in front of those plays, unless he has it. Then he does it himself.
A 20-yard pass play, a 15-yard run, and now Taigavaloa again finds the open man. It's Devontae Smith. A little hesitation at the 10, and a touchdown. Fourth touchdown pass of the day for Tua Taigavaloa.
Yeah, Noah Igbenogany this time thinks he's got him, and then he does a sprint. He slows down, looks at the quarterback, and that's when he's beat. When you're in man coverage, you don't have time to turn around and look. The ball could be coming to your guy, and it was.
Extra point is good.
And
Devontae Smith just getting back to full health. So is Tua Taigavaloa. 4th touchdown pass. It's 38-21. Alabama again by 17 after another quick strike score. Took them only 1 minute and 9 seconds and 3 plays to get another touchdown pass. Taigavaloa to Devontae Smith. Igbenogany camps under this one at the 5. Out to the 21 or 22, and that's it. 17-point hole again for the Tigers. Can they dig out of it like they did on the last drive? Whitlow for a couple. As we hit the 2-minute mark remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's been Jatarvius Whitlow pretty much all day. A little bit of Cam Martin earlier. But Whitlow, number 28, carried the load as far as the ground game today for Auburn. He shifts a little bit behind Stidham. And now it's a flea flicker. He has to throw it away. Almost caught by Coach Saban. Quentin Williams was applying the pressure.
All right, do your assignment. When you're the safety and you're deep, you stay deep. And that time, Xavier McKinney stays deep. The flea flicker, nowhere to go with it.
Here comes Q, the man that says he just wants to dominate. Used that word about 12 times when we talked to him the last time we talked.
While he dominated a sandwich, too.
I'm going to call that intentional grounding. Second call we've had today, one on each side.
Thought he got out of the pocket on that play. Did he not get out of the pocket? And it crossed the line of scrimmage. I don't know.
I don't either. Third down and 19 is what we do know, and that's not good if you're an Auburn fan. They back out of the blitz. It doesn't matter. Jennings has got Stidham anyway.
Well, right now, you get in the long yardage situation, it's a feeding frenzy on the quarterback. They tried to do the flea flicker. That didn't work. And then when Q comes around one side, he forces him inside, and Jennings gets the cleanup.
Really did look like a Jaws movie.
It did. Williams comes around, does not get credit for the sack, but he sure caused it.
And now it's a punt from the end zone for Sippis. And that one's going to go out of bounds. Wow. Where are they going to spot this thing? Way out at the 43-yard line. Straight give to Damian Harris. To the 40. Now, we showed you this pass list earlier in the game for single season action Alabama school history. We told you Tua could climb to number 2 with a good game.
And I think it's close enough. We're going to get to see him throw in the fourth quarter, too.
I believe so. Remember, one throw in the fourth quarter so far this year for him. And the fourth quarter is going to come in 10 seconds. And you're going to see everybody put up those 4 fingers on the Alabama side of things. They're 15 minutes away from an Iron Bowl win and a perfect record heading to Atlanta against Georgia. End of 3, 38-21. We'll return to Tuscaloosa right after this message and a word from your local station. Big Al having a big game, 38-21 as we head into the fourth quarter. And Tua Taigavaloa, as we said, has 1 completion for 24 yards on 1 attempt in the fourth quarter.
Amazing.
Those are some of the other guys that have been mentioned in the Heisman chase, but we are going to see him here in the fourth quarter because he's about to take the snap on 2nd down and 7. The gives to Damian Harris. Harris backpedals his way and powers his way for another Alabama first down. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie's down on the field. You know, it's amazing. You get close, you get within 10, and Alabama's had the ball for 12 plays in the second half, and they have got 3 touchdowns. And they don't look out to be another one right there before we even get back on camera.
I think
first down for Waddle.
You know, I felt like Auburn was okay. They had everything in front of them, and then the pass to Judy.
Yeah.
That really what broke the dam here, and that's what it is when you play Alabama now. Why they're so different? They can attack you in so many different ways. They are not a one-dimensional offense anymore.
First down at the 22, threatening again. Pump fake one way, long ball the other. Touchdown. Well, they're going to say he's out. I don't know about that.
No, I don't either. Now, you are allowed to push him out, but I don't know if he did.
Now they say touchdown.
Yeah, I think that's a touchdown.
And as the late, great Keith Jackson once said, maybe it's hello Heisman for number 13. What a ball.
Well, I'll tell you put it up for grabs, and these receivers, remember, he was blocking on the last play. Oh, he had it, and that was clearly a touchdown. McCreary, number 17, was chasing behind. Ruggs, who was the key blocker on the last touchdown, is the key receiver on this one. And fourth quarter is good to Tua.
2 for 2. The Chick-fil-A pylon cam. They talk about it. They give it to him. Touchdown. Number 5 for number 13 today.
Well, I think he's going to win the Heisman because he's been the talk of college football from game 1 all the way through the season. He changed Alabama football from the second half of that Georgia game all through this season. It has been a different franchise.
Tua Taigavaloa, 5 touchdowns on the day, 36 on the year, and the Tide is rolling. Frenzy with less than a minute gone here in the fourth quarter. Shivers on the handoff. Runs into the middle of the Alabama defense. LeBron Ray quietly becoming a pretty integral part of that defense too.
Well, he has to now because Isaiah Buggs is out of the football game, and that's a key football player for this team. It shortens your rotation, one of your key defenders, especially with the way Georgia runs the ball, and that's where you're thinking right now. This game is over, but now you start thinking of getting out of this game and thinking about where, and I tell you right now, Nick Saban needs to warn his defenders, we do not need anything close to being targeting right now.
Shivers trying to cut it outside. And just as you said that, Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, but again, this is a ball carrier running. He does not have protection. Watch McKinney lower his head, and then Shivers lowers his head. McKinney's trying to go low and make the tackle.
He got him with the shoulder.
Yes,
anyway.
he did. But the defender initiated the running back initiated the contact.
3rd down at 6. Comes a blitz. Stidham trying to buy some time. Trying to run it himself, and he got it, I think. Tough run. Jennings brought him down. Whitlow was out there trying to lead block for him. And Whitlow's like, what should I do? And he goes, go hit somebody.
Christian Miller to the outside. He's being chased by Jack Driscoll, the offensive tackle, because he was pass rushing that time. And then he saw the receiver go to the flat, and he just trailed with him. That's why there was no one to throw to.
Back to Shivers for a couple.
Especially this Alabama defensive line has to be careful not to get a targeting penalty late into this game now.
Shivers brought down by Dylan Moses, but he got to the 46-yard line, and we're approaching the 10-minute mark.
Tell you, watching this Alabama secondary, so impressive. Deontay Thompson, Xavier McKinney, 14 and 15. They'll come up and lick it. They hit, man. They are not back there just to knock down passes. They come out and really deliver the hit.
Another 3rd down. Stidham got it with his legs on the last one. Deep drop, lofts it, and it's intercepted by Jennings. Anthony Jennings.
Jennings did his job exactly the way Christian Miller did before. Ed man to the line of scrimmage. Watch, he's going to be blocked, but he feels something. So he peels. He's supposed to rush the passer, but he feels something. So he backs off, and he gets in the way of the throwback pass. 47-33. 2 veterans do their jobs.
Tua Taigavaloa's day is done. 5 touchdown passes, 325 yards in the air. And ties Gary Hollingsworth for the most touchdown passes in a game. Going to give the coach a hug. His numbers now 3190 yardage, 36 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jalen Hurts in for him. And Jalen comes up throwing down the middle. Jalen Waddell. Jalen to Jalen. Waddle, great speed. He's gone. Touchdown. .53 yards. Jalen Hurts. 1 snap, 1 touchdown.
How about that? Is that not class from Jalen Hurts? A perfect throw. He wanted to stay to get better as a passer. He wanted to take a full year of coaching from Dan Enos, Mike Loxley, these great receivers, and hone his game. That looked pretty good to me.
Sure did. Bullivus extra point is good.
Nobody was happier than Tua. Remember a year ago, it was Jalen Hurts clapping for Tua as he came into the game. And then once Waddle gets it, we talk about fast players on the field. He's one of the fastest on the field. And Tua says, there it is. He cheered for me, and I cheer for him.
And there they are on the sideline. Another Alabama passing touchdown. The 3rd most points allowed by an Auburn team under Gus Malzahn today with 52. And after that touchdown pass, big smile from the coach for Jalen Hurts. 1 play, 10 seconds, 1 touchdown.
Remember in the offseason, and it's SEC Media Days, all the questions whether Nick was going to be able to handle this combustible 2-quarterback situation.
It's worked out pretty well.
Yes.
Fair catch taken. And Auburn goes to its backup quarterback, Malik Willis. And Malik with a 3-yard gain. As we're down close to 2 minutes. Well, we talked 3.5 hours ago about the differences of these 2 teams from one season to the next. Last year it was Kerryon Johnson, who was the SEC Player of the Year and helped Auburn to the upset over both Georgia and Alabama before being banged up in the SEC title game. And we look at Alabama team that was struggling a little bit with their air game this time a year ago. And now look at them. It's like Gary said, air Saban and air Tua. He would never want us to say that, but you'll hear about it. 2nd team in college football history to outscore each of their 12 opponents by 20 or more. And I guess Yale did it back. I don't remember those days. Walter Camp, I think that was his first team at Yale, maybe back in '88. But they have been, again, unbelievably impressive here. This is 26 straight wins at home coming up here in a minute. And remember, that was a 71-74 stretch with Coach Bryant. So that was a long string of wins, but none better than this one now.
They got pushed a little bit in this football game. 17-14. You could feel the pressure at halftime, but that pass to Judy down the sideline changed it. Really remarkable to get in this position, an undefeated season, and never really get into a 4th quarter game where there has been any stress on their kicking game at all so far.
They've now won, or will here in a second, 41 of their last 42 games here in Tuscaloosa. As Willis takes it wide and about a yard shy of the first down. They have led or been tied for all but 70 seconds this year. You talk about not being pressed in the 4th quarter. They haven't been pressed, period. And down to what might be the final snap. And there you have it. A perfect regular season for Alabama. 12-0, 8-0 in the conference, and an Iron Bowl number 83 that goes the way of the Tide. Handily. Couple veteran quarterbacks that might be playing somewhere else next year except in those uniforms. The winning coach is with Jamie.
I think you did better. Coach just asked me if they did better. I think you did. What do you think?
Well, we played better in the second half, but played better on offense, made some explosive plays. I think scoring early in the second half was really big for us.
How has this team continued to play the right way down the stretch to set you up for an SEC championship game?
Well, if these guys need to be motivated for that. I mean, they've had a great season, and we certainly want to, congratulate them for that, winning 12 games, but really doesn't mean much if we can't do a good job next week against a really good Georgia team.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
So that's going to do it from Tuscaloosa. A perfect season for the Crimson Tide so far, 12-0, as they head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium against the once-beaten Georgia Bulldogs next week. What a clash it will be. For Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from Bryant-Denny Stadium. Final score, Alabama 52, Auburn 21. CBS Sports College Football Postgame Show presented by Capital One is up next after these messages. So long from Tuscaloosa.